What's up, football fans? I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, and don't forget to check out and grab your copy of our two latest book releases, Football: A Love Story and What Did Football Teach Me? Visit our website at footballgameplan.com/books and get your copies today. Welcome to NFL Game Plan. I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, bring you our Week 5 preview between the Seattle Seahawks and the Cincinnati Bengals. And we're going to be joined by our football game plan analysts, Teron Davenport, Gene Clemens, and also Chris James. So let's start this video off by taking a look at my keys to victory.
Starting with Seattle in this ball game, I would tilt the coverage toward A.J. Green. I think defensively, if Seattle can take away Andy Dalton's #1 target in A.J. Green and force him to go to other targets consistently throughout the ball game, that's a win for Seattle. Also, they have to clean up the sloppy play offensively. I thought last week versus Detroit, they played a real sloppy game from an offensive perspective, and if that happens versus a team like Cincinnati, they can get beat. And they have to get back to Seahawks football. I think that's running the football early in the down and distance, running it often, operating off play action, and taking timely shots deep down the field, and also not making the mental mistakes that we've seen from Seattle in the early part of the season on both sides of the ball. So I think they have to get back to Seahawks football if they want to have some success. Looking at the Bengals in this ball game, I would keep A.J. Green matched up on Kerry Williams. You know, Richard Sherman tends to stay on one side of the football field, so you have to find the optimal matchups to where A.J. Green is constantly on Kerry Williams. That's a matchup I think Cincinnati can exploit throughout the course of the ball game. And I will play contain with the big guys up front and let the speed get pressure on Russell Wilson. That's your corners, your safeties, your linebackers. Allow the bigs to play contain, keep him within that tackle-to-tackle box, and that's how they can effectively slow down what Russell Wilson wants to do from a dual threat perspective. And this one goes without saying. I think this could be the key in the ball game. Cincinnati has to win the special teams battle. They're going up against one of the best returners in the game in Tyler Lockett. Don't be afraid to kick it to him, but your special teams from a coverage perspective and from your own kicking perspective has to be on point.
When you're playing the Seattle Seahawks, a lot of times you're going to get the question, how do you pressure Russell Wilson? How do you keep him on the ground? How do you keep him contained? I don't know, I'm not a genius, but I am the czar of the playbook, though, so I'll draw something up for you. If I'm Cincinnati, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to play cover 3, but I'm going to get creative and get speed to get pressure on Russell Wilson. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, what we have drawn up. This pre-snap shows either cover 3 or cover 1. So we're going to beat them at the wrong game. We're going to play cover 3 on this one, but we're going to send this strong safety on Russell Wilson, trying to get speed pressure against him. Now what we're going to do here, like I said, we're dropping back in our deep thirds right here. Deep third, deep third, deep third right here. And how we're going to protect ourselves with the flat. Now what you probably think, and what Russell Wilson is probably thinking, okay, this backer is going to come, safety is going to drop in the flat, boom right here, boom right there. But we're going to get creative and try to confuse him to get him to hold the football longer and get him on the ground to help our strong safety get back there in the pocket. So what we're going to do is have this backer that's on the line of scrimmage. He's going to get a good bump, and he's going to drop back in that curl out area right there. So he's taking away the curl out responsibilities, this backer right here, which frees up the space for this strong safety because he's shooting this C gap real hard. 1, 2, boom, he's gone. And that's what we want. We want him to try to shoot this C gap. So now Russell Wilson has to either break weak side because he has speed that can match up and chase him around back there. And when you have a guy that's as talented as the Cincinnati Bengals have right here, strong safety George Ialoka, I think that's perfect for what they want to do and try to get him on the ground. So now you have this defensive end crashing hard in this B gap. You want him to crash so hard to try to influence a double team with the guard and the tackle, again, freeing up more opportunities for the strong safety to get back there. Now what you're going to have your tackle do to ensure the double team, to ensure space for the strong safety, he's going to get a good bump, and he's going to drop back in the zone blitz look in the hook the curl zone. Boom. So now you have him dropping back. You have this backer dropping back to the hook the curl over this way on the weak side. And what we're doing here is straight contain rush. Try to push through, play contain. Maintain your gap. Gap integrity is key. We have the backer dropping back in that curl to out area right there. So you see where we protected with our deep third. We're protected underneath. We're zone blitzing with the defensive tackle dropping back in the hook the curl zone. You don't want to do this a lot, but you can do it situationally, especially if you're trying to blitz a guy coming off the edge. Now you have your contain on one side. So if Russell Wilson wants to vacate this way, he's running into a guy that's playing his gap responsibility. If he tries to vacate this way, he's going to have to outrun and out athletic, the strong safety here. So this is one way I think Cincinnati can apply pressure, can try to keep him contained, and can get him on the ground this week as they play the Seattle Seahawks.
Opening up the Seahawks playbook, I think Russell Wilson has to start to play smarter football. He's been playing good football so far this season, don't get me wrong, but you see right here versus Detroit, 4 down linemen, no one's spying him, which tells him he has the freedom now with the numbers advantage, 5 offensive linemen and 4 defensive linemen to scramble up and make a play. Great job right here, but what you don't want to see him do is throw the football back across his body. He lucked out that play worked out in his favor with Tyler Lockett, but you don't want to see these type of plays from a guy that's smart and accurate like Russell Wilson is. So when you see a guy playing smart football from a front's perspective, you want to see it continue to carry over once the ball is snapped. Now the second play I'm showing you is an example of that. Again, 4 down linemen, no spy from Detroit. He now knows he has the advantage. He's going to wait till everyone drops, scramble out and up, and picks up another first down. These are the type of plays a guy like Russell Wilson can make for your football team, but I'm pretty sure versus Cincinnati, he's going to see some sort of spy, whether it be a linebacker or a safety, and they're probably going to rob the middle of the field, so he has to make sure he's avoiding that risky play like we saw in the first example in this video in order to help the Seahawks offense stay on pace.
All right, folks, strap up. The Seahawks at Bengals is the game of the week. You have two teams who are both trending upwards. The Bengals offense is really playing well. You got Seattle's defense playing well. My X factor for the Seahawks is Cam Chancellor. He is back, and when he is on the field, that defense is totally different. He's been back for 2 games, and guess what? They have 2 straight victories. He could come up and support the run. He's another guy that is very physical and could be a factor when it comes to these Bengals receivers, A.J. Green, Marvin Jones, Mohamed Sanu, and Tyler Eifert. As far as the Bengals are concerned, my X factor is again going to be Andy Dalton. At this point right now, Andy Dalton is on an MVP pace. He's taking control of the offense. He is making the checks, making the excellent throws, connecting with guys from Brandon Tate to Marvin Jones to A.J. Green. The Bengals are a force to be reckoned with, and I think they're going to win this game at home against the Seattle Seahawks. I have them winning 24-21.
If I'm Seattle, I got to hope that I have Marshawn Lynch back, and I can keep that Cincinnati offense off the field more by running the ball and pounding the ball with Marshawn Lynch, keeping drives alive, allowing my quarterback Russell Wilson to do what he does best with his legs. On the Cincinnati side, I have to look at these things and say, if we're a top-notch offense, then Seattle's defense shouldn't pose a threat to us. We've got to continue to do what's made us great over the first 4 weeks of the season. We run the ball, we get the ball in the hands of our playmakers in the passing game, and we let them do work. I think if they run the ball consistently and they get the ball in the hands of those playmakers outside, Cincinnati will win this game. I like them to win it 23-14.
In what could be an early season Super Bowl preview, we have the Seattle Seahawks traveling to the Cincinnati Bengals. Wow, 2 good teams that really like to get the job done. Exciting Monday night game that just happened with the Cam Chancellor punch-out. As far as our home star for the Cincinnati Bengals, I'm going to go with Gio Bernard. This is the guy that is going to be utilized on those short routes for Andy Dalton, check downs, even getting the ball via the carry, and he might be able to get some fantasy points. As far as a sit, I'm going to sit Andy Dalton. He's played excellent football so far, but without the ability to drive the ball down the field and get those big chunk yards to A.J. Green, I don't think he holds as much fantasy value as some other guys. As far as a start for the Seattle Seahawks, go on Russell Wilson. He's had to do everything, and even if beast mode is back, you have to start Russell Wilson. He's like a mini Drew Brees where you don't know who his favorite receiver is week to week. As far as a sit, I'm sitting Jimmy Graham unless you have to start him. Still don't know where he stands in this offense, and it still needs to be developed a little more before I'm comfortable starting him. My sleeper is Tyler Lockett. Listen, this guy is a maniac. He gets open on the offensive side of the ball, and he could get some big chunk plays from Russell Wilson. Final score in what should be a bruise fest, Seattle 20-16.
I like the Bengals in this ball game. This is probably the most well-balanced football team on both sides of the ball that we've seen so far this season in the NFL. They can run the football, they can operate off play action, they can attack deep if they need to, and defensively they're getting off the field and creating turnovers, and they also are protecting Andy Dalton. So I think this is a well-rounded team, and they'll take care of business at home versus the Seahawks. But as we look at our picks, Chris is going to be the lone wolf this week going with Seattle. It's a great game. I think this may be one of those games, like Chris mentioned, a preview of what we may see later on in the season. And we also want to give a huge shout out to Seahawk fan forums and Bengal fan forums for always showing football game plan support.